Hi, everyone. I'm getting questions, just a few, about why I changed my YouTube channel name. It used to be Dr. Sherry Peel Jackson, and I changed it to Escape the Rat Race. First of all, I want you to know that it's my mission to help people escape the rat race. And I had to realize that everybody doesn't know who I am. So when people are floating around on YouTube and they see Dr. Sherry Peel Jackson, most people have no idea who I am. Just you all who have been rocking with me for years know that. And in order to help more people and build a larger audience, I needed something that was going to attract people. And I believe that everybody knows what it means to escape the rat race, even in other countries. So, thus, I changed the name to Escape the Rat Race. And I put my handle Escape with Sherry. So it's not that I've already fully escaped, but I'm going that direction. And I'm asking you all, do you want to follow me as I go in that direction? So I wanted to talk about a few things that I am doing to escape the rat race. Those of you that have been with me for a while basically know a lot of these things, but there are some new people that have subscribed to the channel and subscribed to my website, which, by the way, is sherrypeeljackson.com. And that's Peel, Peel. That's actually my maiden name. And that's what they called me in elementary school: potato peel, banana peel. Children are cruel. Anyway, back to the story. What I am doing is, first of all, you all know that at the end of 2023, I took some time to reflect on the questions to design my future. And that's a video before this one. It might be somewhere up in the top right now. But when I wrote those out, there were 9 of them. So I have to make sure that I stay on point. I look at them on a weekly basis, usually towards the end of the week, to see what kind of progress that I made so that I won't just do them and then disappear and then forget about them, because they're very important. And as you are more mature and you get older, you realize that there are a lot of things that you need to do to make sure that your goals are met and that you are achieving the mission that you were put here for. My mission is to help people keep what they earn, protect what they earn, and grow what they earn. This country and this world is not fair. There are a lot of people that want you to be oppressed at all times. They want you to be broke, busted, and disgusted. They want you to be in fear. They want you to watch television and movies all the time and play video games and not pay attention to what's going on. Bread and circuses. Some of you all know what I mean by that. And then some of you want to break out of that. I remember a long, long time ago, there was a game, a video game when they first came out, and you had to escape. And these little things were trying to keep you down, and you had to get around them and escape. And I didn't play video games that much, actually. They used to be a quarter, and I would save my quarters as opposed to putting them in a video game machine. But we are trying to escape the rat race. A lot of people, regardless of whether you make $50,000 or $500,000 a year, are stuck in the rat race based on the way you were taught, or really not taught. For example, here in Georgia, they're still not teaching high school students how to manage money. And a lot of people's parents don't know how to manage money. A lot of people grew up lower middle class or even poor. And when they get an education or a good job, good trade, one of the first things they do, unfortunately, is go out and buy the big house, the big cars, and all that. And they strap themselves in debt. This is all by design. The housing bubble is about to come back along with the commercial real estate bubble. And of course, the biggest bubble right now that we have is the student loan bubble. We have millions of students that have debt from colleges where they got a degree that they can't even use. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, basically a mortgage payment. So you're paying a mortgage payment on a student loan and you can't get a mortgage so that you can build equity in a house. What I like to do is teach people first of all, with your money, sit down and figure out what the priorities are, not what you want. People do what they want and not what they need a lot of times, but we need to flip that over and do what we need and not what we want. I talk to a lot of people and I listen to a lot of people. I'm not in the conversation sometimes. And what I hear is, I want to buy this because it's going to make me feel better. It's going to make me more accepted or something to that effect. And it's okay to want to feel better, but when you're drowning in debt, you shouldn't be going to Las Vegas to have a good time and then coming back and trying to borrow money from me to pay your rent. No. We've got to start getting serious and smart about how we manage our resources. So when resources come in, if you haven't built up a lot of debt, you pay your regular expenses like your electricity and your rent or your mortgage, and then you take the extra money and you invest that. For example, I know that I've talked about this before, but it's been a while. I have not been someone that shopped at malls. I know that a suit, I like suits. I like nice suits. Some of the brands, Casper and Les Suit, and those, they're upwards of $150 to $200 for a suit. Within the last month, I have been to 2 different thrift stores and got these same brand suits, almost new, for less than $20. Nobody knows I got them from the thrift store. If I need a suit, I know where to go. Take some time, go get it cleaned. Right now, they're, at the cleaners. So who's gonna know that I didn't pay 200? And who cares? I mean, I don't care. It's just not important to me. But what is important to me is making sure that I don't have a whole bunch of credit card bills with hundreds of or even thousands of dollars in clothing and shoes and jewelry and those kinds of things in it. It doesn't make me feel good. Even if it makes you feel good, is it better to feel good and wallow in debt, or is it better to feel good about not being in debt? Right now, we don't need to be tethered to anything. I hope that you all see what's going on in the world. We are tossing bombs at people. We are engaged in proxy wars in more than one country or in more than one situation. We are allowing thousands of people to cross the border every day. I heard that there are more people crossing the border every month than there are births in the United States. First of all, that should be alarming to you. Second of all, if you didn't know that, you're paying attention to the wrong thing. Paying attention to the what I call lamestream media and radio that's owned by those that are part of the cabal is not necessarily a smart thing to do. Get your money together. Start paying off debt. If your debt is so big that you can't pay it off quickly, start paying off one debt at a time. The smallest one first. I like that method. I like the method where you pay off the smaller one. When I was in debt in my 20s, I had about 13 credit cards and a small student loan and all that. And I would pay things, I would get bonuses and use that instead of going to buy something new. I would go put it on the card or the student loan. And then if I got some kind of a refund, I would not go buy a new TV or whatever. I would put it on there and I was soon out of debt. Business debt is good. There's a difference between good debt and bad debt. Business debt, when you're going to get into debt to make money, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going to buy stuff. And we are too engaged in buying stuff, conspicuous consumption. So get your money, get out of debt. If you have too much debt to get out of quickly, take some of that and put it aside and pay the debt, and take some of it and put it aside for investing and saving. So we should have a savings pot. And usually I talk about three: a short term, a middle, and a long term savings pot. Short term savings pot would be for, let's say, your washer, your dryer. Let me back up and say this. I don't believe in there being a whole bunch of different emergencies. I talk to clients all the time and they talk about, oh, I had to go and put a new washer on my credit card because it went out. You knew that washer was 15 years old. You should have been putting money aside in a savings account so that when it went out, you could pay cash for it. That's what I did. Your midterm savings pot should be for things like major car repairs or even a new car. For example, I put half down on the car that I have now because I was saving for it because I knew that Sunner 4Runner was not going to last forever. I had the new car that I have, it's not new, but when I bought it, I had it paid off in a year because I don't like car notes. I don't like that at all. Discipline is what I'm asking you all to be. I'm asking you to be disciplined. We've got to be disciplined right now because if you're not paying attention to the world around you, it's going to be like you're the quarterback that gets blindsided and knocked out cold because there's some stuff coming down the pipe. This is an election year. I mentioned that before. And it's probably not going to be pretty. I've heard people even say that we're not going to have an election. There are mental pictures that are being thrown at us through media and through movies that could lead to some very, very violent days ahead. Are you aware of that? Are you preparing for that? Please prepare for that. We need to escape the rat race. When I say escape the rat race, it may be something different to you. It may mean something different to you, but for me, it's being in a place where I'm not worried about whether the mortgage is going to be paid, or I'm not worried about where food is going to come from. Am I going to have food? Is the grocery store going to be open? Are the trucks going to be able to get to the grocery stores? I don't want to ever have to depend on a grocery store. I really don't. I mean, right now, it's less than a mile away, but am I prepared if something happens in this country for 3 months, 6 months, and the grocery stores aren't open? Ask yourself that question. So, escaping the rat race, having savings, being out of debt, and investing. And after investing, build wealth. So let's go back to investing. Investing in what? Most of you all know that I don't invest in anything that can disappear in the blink of an eye. I don't have an IRA, 401ks, mutual fund, any of that stuff. I do have a little bit of crypto, but I invest in hard assets, things that I can hold in my hand or I can place my feet on: gold, silver, and real estate. When I was a freshman in college, my professor was very, very, he was good. He made a statement that, and I believe it. He said, land is the basis for all independence. I believe that. I like real estate. A lot of the gurus that you're watching have lots of real estate, and not just in the United States, but all over the world. The wealthy people that are part of the cabal, they have several different pieces of real estate all over the world. There are people that I know of that have hundreds of acres in Montana. I'm not naming names on this one, but people that are buying property in Panama, everywhere. What are we doing? We are watching the football game, looking forward to the Super Bowl. And it's okay to do that if you are also preparing. Are you preparing? I'm pleading with you to prepare yourself. Pay attention to what's going on in the news and not the mainstream media. Look at alternative news and check the facts. I have people come to me all the time and say stuff like, if Donald Trump gets back in office, we're going to be in trouble and we're not going to have anything. And I'm thinking, okay, what is your source for that information? And in this one particular conversation that I had after I started asking questions, the person had to admit that they made more money during the Trump years than they have made in the last 2 or 3 years. So emotions don't matter in these situations. Facts matter in these situations. Is it a fact that we need to be prepared for whatever is going on? American hegemony has disrupted so many different countries, so many different economies, and blowback is on the way. So let me help you escape the rat race. Get some gold and silver. The gold and silver dealer that I use, and I don't get a commission, is Volunteer Precious Metals. They're out of Tennessee. Nice family-owned business. That's one tip I'll give you today. After you're starting to invest, and then you start to build wealth, this is where you start making sure that your children's children have things. For example, the wealthy people, the owners of the Federal Reserve, their children's children will never have to work a day in their lives because they put things in place while they were squashing us to make sure that wealth transferred and continued to grow. Definition of wealth. Wealth is measured by the number of days you can survive without working or anyone else in your household physically working and still maintain or increase your standard of living. So just because somebody has a job making $750,000 a year doesn't mean anything. Because if they lose that job, then 3, 4, 5 months down the road, that mahogany furniture is going to be sitting on the front lawn until dark when the people come and get it with the trucks, if you don't get it before then. Financial freedom is being able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whoever you want to do it, with no concern for money. Are we working towards that? That's escape the rat race. That's escape the rat race. Are we working towards that? I would suggest that you try to do that. And if you feel like, well, Sherry, you talking all that stuff, but you got a degree and blah, blah, that doesn't mean anything. There are things that you can do to add value to the marketplace that don't have anything to do with a degree. My mentors, the ones that I know face to face and the ones that I know from afar, most of them don't have a college degree. Didn't go to college at all. They just thought their way out of it. They're critical thinkers. I have this shirt that says normalize critical thinking, and that's what we need to do. We need to turn off the electronic income reducer and the electronic intellect reducer and bring back thinking, critical thinkings that we need. Okay, if you don't have a job, you don't feel like you can have any skills, what can you create? Who can you go help to make some money? When I go to other countries, I see people hustling all the time. There's a bridge that will take you from the city of Limon, Costa Rica, all the way down to Puerto Viejo. And somehow the bridge shifted. That's the story I got. They have one-way bridges. I call them onesies. And only one vehicle can get over at a time. And usually you can see the other vehicle. And there's a sign that says you have to yield and they can go. So it's not really a problem unless somebody comes down there, does not understand Spanish, and does not stop. That's the issue. But you can see the other person. This one bridge that's near the city of Limon, you cannot see the other side. And there've been so many times where the traffic was backed up so far because two people came together and realized somebody had to back up. And 10 cars behind that one had to back up, and 10 cars behind that one had to back up. So for the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a man that stands in the middle of that bridge with a sign so that he can see both sides. So he'll tell the people, I think it's one is green and one is red. And he'll say, red on this side, you gotta, that person that can see him has to stop because the other people are going by. And people give that man money. He's out there with a little umbrella sometimes. And I've given him money because he stops us from having an hour wait when somebody has that confrontation on the bridge. I'm not too good to dig ditches. I'm not too good to do anything to make sure that myself and my family are taken care of. I will do a job that needs to be done so my family can be taken care of. Someone said that Americans are too good to do something, or they won't do these kind of jobs, and that's where they have to bring other people in. We got to get over that if that's the case. So you can do something to start earning money. Once you start earning money, feed your family, feed yourself, and then start saving. The problems that we get into is we want to go get stuff. Let's get over the stuff. Let's get over it. We don't need a new this and we don't need a new that. And there was a little VeggieTales episode when my children were younger, and it was called, I forgot the name of it, but they had this big store called Stuff Mart. And there was this wealthy lady, and she filled up her house with stuff, and then it exploded. It was so cute, and it was just basically saying, you know, we need to downsize. I'm gonna downsize, clean out my closets and make sure that I'm flexible. Wealthy people are flexible. They can move here and there. They don't have to, oh, I can't go here because I don't have any more vacation. We gotta get over it, people. I'm helping you escape the rat race. So enough of my little rant. That's why I changed the name of my YouTube channel to Escape the Rat Race. And I pray that you are listening and that you are in the process of escaping with me. Have a great day.